is Making Food. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Amy.
And today,
it's Passover.
Happy Passover.
Again. We're back to Passover
We're
already.
back at it. I know.
Like we just did Passover.
I was thinking of recipes and what to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like we just did this show, but it's been a full year.
What was that thing you made last year that was so delicious?
Oh, God, who knows?
It was the loaf with the carrots.
Oh, yeah. What is that called?
Oh, it was so good. No, it wasn't kugel. It was,
Just for Passover.
I don't know. We'll look on our website. It's delicious. Do it this year.
Well, we'll link it for this year's, just to go back.
Scroll down and keep scrolling. So
back a whole year.
Way back when we did the show at Rebecca's house, this is our third time doing Passover.
This is our third time. Mm-hmm.
And the first time we did dueling Mandel breads because we all, like everybody with Mandel bread, insists that theirs is the best.
Everybody.
Let's just set the record straight.
Mine is the best. Hands down,
Mine is the best. Mine is the best.
Mine's the best. But I'm letting Amy make hers.
I'm doing mine today.
To let her feel good about her Mandel bread being second best. So I give it to you.
Ask all the non-Jews in the world who've had it. They're like, what is this delicious thing?
Like, what is this magical
My husband is
bread?
literally feeding it to his coworkers today.
Oh my gosh.
I
No, and everyone thinks this is not for Passover, and it is. It's delicious. It's wonderful.
Apparently people make it with flour, not for Passover.
I've never had it.
To me, that's like biscotti. I don't know. I don't make it. I only make it for Passover.
No, I've only had it this way.
I only make it this way.
And people are always surprised that it's for the holiday.
Yeah. They're like, because it's matzah cake meal, not flour.
Correct.
What are you doing?
I am making mush. No, just kidding. I am making a spinach artichoke with cheese, like layered matzah. It's not like a kugel,
but
it's
spanakopita. It's kind of like a spinach pie.
It's a spinach pie, but made with matzah, so nothing like spanakopita. But it has the same ingredients. But it's celebratory of spring. It has spinach and dill and artichokes, all the good things, lots of green, and cheese.
My favorite. What are you making to drink today?
We better get started. Sangria.
Oh, sangria.
Because, for Passover, typically in a Passover Seder, you're supposed to drink 4 glasses of wine. Did you know that?
No problem.
Yeah, or you can get the kosher wines.
Or kosher wines. It's up to you what you want to drink. And so I thought, to be fun, as opposed to just regular boring wine, I was going to make sangria, which is just a nice twist. It's a nice, festive kind of cocktail. And I'm making white sangria because I feel like red sangria everyone does. So white sangria because I'm so hopeful summer's on its way. So I'm just going to bust out the sangria.
I brought the spring flowers.
Our guests are.
I'll start making it. So for both of our dishes, you have to preheat the oven to 350, by the way. So that worked out really well for us. So Rebecca's gonna. Are you doing the cocktail first? No.
Yeah, I thought I would start. Passing it around. I'm gonna use this because it's clean.
So for mine, for the Mandel bread, which is I don't know what does Mandel mean. Does everybody know? I don't know.
Actually, no.
Mandel. It's like some sort of bread. Anyway, it's a dessert for Passover, and I'm gonna be creaming together 2 cups of sugar. 2 sticks of butter, people. This is very healthy. So I've already put 1 stick in.
I'm so excited that this has started.
Yeah.
I love Mandel bread. It brings me great joy.
And also 6 eggs, by the way. I didn't mention that before. So yes, 2. I'm gonna cream. I'm creaming together 2 sticks of butter and 2 cups. Ooh,
oh my gosh! Here we go.
Shoot. It's allowed on cable access. 2 sticks of butter and 2 sticks of butter and 2 cups of sugar.
So now the fruit that I used in my sangria is strawberries. I have a little bit of pineapple. I did cherries, frozen cherries. You can get them at I got mine at Costco, but you can get them anywhere, any grocery store. But they're pitted. Well, hopefully they're pitted if you just
the cherries
go gently. Yeah.
Go gently.
And I have mango and a little bit of peaches. That's because it's nice and springy. So for this cocktail, it's 1 bottle of white wine. I use a nice Long Island white. I have 3 ounces of
So you're not using a kosher wine, but you could get a kosher white wine.
You could.
If you're that kind of Jew.
But I'm not. So I figured I'll be festive, but I'm not. So I'm not using a kosher or it's even like a par for Passover.
Or a kosher, or just drinking straight up kosher wine. You can make this and with the kosher wine and drink this during your
absolutely.
Seder.
So Grand Marnier, about 3 ounces, and then 2 tablespoons of this. I have Apple Jacks brandy, which when I tried it by itself, I was like, this is going to be interesting. We'll see how this goes. But soaking the fruit in it overnight, this morning when I tasted it, it was delicious. Now, with sangria, you can make it one of 2 ways. I am making it just with some sparkly water because I don't like it overly sweet. If you like it a little sweeter, Prosecco is also a very nice bubbly mixture to add in, but it does make it quite a bit stronger. Yeah.
I'm gonna make this a little faster for a second. Just to really get it creamed. It means Mandel means almond. So I
Does
guess
it?
traditionally, like you'd make it maybe with almond, maybe even like almond flour. But did that exist back then? I don't know. Almond. I know I've had it with almond, but so it's not Mandel bread. It's just dessert bread.
Amy bread.
It's Amy's version of Mandel bread.
Yeah. So now I'm going to incorporate 6 eggs one at a time. So yeah, like I said, 2 sticks of butter, 2 cups of eggs, 2 cups of sugar. Why can't I get this right? And 6 eggs.
It's basically a health
This
food.
is like, health food central over here. I don't want to go too fast.
Organic eggs, I'm sure.
They are organic eggs. I would do nothing else. No, I really wouldn't. I want my eggs to be happy before they come out.
Sung to, love.
No, that we can't get here, and they have them in California. These things called happy eggs. Has anybody ever seen them? There's just eggs, but they're called happy eggs, and they're like the best eggs I've ever had. Like they're really orange yolks. Yeah, they buy them at the supermarket, but they don't have them here. So I'm sure they're they're living in California. They're happy. They're happy in California.
A little slice down the strawberry.
Adorable.
Don't go all the way down.
Oh my God,
isn't
you're
it?
done.
That's right. We got to get to it, Amy.
So like I said, 1 egg at a time.
Very nice.
Yeah, you can take a photo.
Thanks, girl. I'm gonna take a
I'm
photo.
gonna take a photo. Look at my fun little glasses. But let me get it ready for my else.
I'll do it with the flowers in the background.
We believe in doing social media right in the middle of our show.
We don't have a choice. I got you lovely people back there. I got Sue in the background with her. Oh, that's better. Lovely. Let's drink.
You can't yet. Hold on.
I'm gonna make this a little faster again just to really get it all incorporated.
And I like this fruit because, again, it's just so light and bright
I would take this out to show you, but you know it.
and ready for spring.
It's all creamed together. It's all smooth.
Mmm. The
My dad
base of
texted me.
any good dessert. Your dad's texting you? Of course.
Okay.
It's
Let's
like,
see.
Amy, what are you doing?
I'm doing the show, Dad. You're in it.
When Amy and I first started doing this in my kitchen, we would use her phone to film the episodes, but we would call her dad for the Yiddish word of the day live.
Yes.
And he would
Why?
constantly call Amy's phone that was
Because he
recording
couldn't
us.
connect. He's like, I can't get on. I'm like, Dad, don't call this number.
And then we would be like, Al, Rebecca's gonna call you from her phone, and then I would call him and be like, what
Who's
number
this?
is call? Then he'd call
Who's
Amy's
this?
phone and be like, whose number's calling me? We're like, no,
Dad,
it's
you gotta put Rebecca's
me.
number in your phone. This is
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh, it was hilarious.
So I'm
And we would talk to him through the live cast, like, Al, pick up your phone, it's me,
Yeah.
Amy calling you from
like,
Rebecca's phone.
Dad, we're about to do the Yiddish lesson. Call
Like,
Rebecca.
Get ready.
Just call. No, FaceTime. It to FaceTime, and that was a bit.
Oh my gosh.
He was
I thought that man was
He was a bit famished.
going over the edge.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna
now
put it here.
I'm gonna. You have to
You wanna put
sift.
him up?
You have to sift together 2 3/4 cups matzah cake meal, not matzah meal. Thanks,
Such a
Billy.
gentleman, he does
Matzah
his
cake.
birthday.
It's his birthday today. Matzah cake meal. Well, it was 2 weeks ago.
Well, yeah.
2 3/4 cups matzah cake meal, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 cup of potato starch.
All right.
Potato starch is like really hard to find at Passover,
She left.
but
There's apple jam.
but
brown
so if you see it in the kosher section for Passover, you need to get it like right away. There's Billy.
There's Billy. Here, let's cheers.
Oh, let's toast. Cheers to
Cheers to
Passover,
Passover.
to you, to all of you.
To the
Cheers.
cooks.
Happy Passover. L'chaim.
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 You gave a generous serving too. You're welcome.
It's better than my water. Lovely,
Ooh.
lovely.
So I'm
That's
sifting
hydrating.
together the 2 3/4 cup matzah
Rachel's
cake meal
leaving.
and the salt, and then I'll add the potato starch. If you have to sift this. When you make yours, do you sift it?
Yes, you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Because the ingredients are already so heavy, you kind of got to give it some air
Yeah.
to get it to lighten up a bit.
I know. Listen, ladies.
Smoking.
Slow your roll. And like I said, 3/4 cup potato starch.
All right,
Which
so what
is
I'm doing
for-
over here while you're doing that, the Passover, as I have browned some onions, getting them nice and golden and soft, and now I have artichokes. I just use canned. I have found them in the freezer section. If you can find freezer, just be careful how much water goes into the, just make sure you get rid of the water if you're gonna
It's a
heat
lot of
them up.
water.
But I just chop them up.
That's a
I
bit too
bought
much. I'm
them
not gonna put
quartered. I probably just bought whole. There we go.
3/4 cups potato starch.
It's brown.
Sift it in with your matzo cake meal and your salt.
That's one of my favorite sounds. Oh, there we go.
My salt is a little chunky.
What?
It's kosher salt. It's like it doesn't really sift through, so I just poured it. It's all right. Okay.
You just poured chunky salt into your. Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't mix it.
Nope, you do you, Amy. I love it.
Mix it.
I love it.
I don't even need this anymore because I know what I'm doing. Okay. Slowly.
What are you doing?
You have to very slowly start incorporating this because inevitably
fly
every time I
back
do it,
in your
it's a
face.
cloud of matzo cake meal. It's a mess. Last night it was all over my kitchen.
I'm always like, I'm gonna go slow, and then I get impatient and I turn it up, and then I always end up with it all over the counter in my face. Look at you, Amy. You're so
Very
patient.
slow. Oh, look at close up.
Close
They
up.
want to get, you know what, they're doing this because they're hoping it poofs into a big cloud.
They're hoping
That makes for good TV.
I don't have any.
So do spills, Amy. So do spills.
So what I'll do too is like once it's incorporated a bit, I speed it up a little bit, get that mixed in.
You're a professional, Amy.
I'm a professional, not a professional.
All right, these are going.
Amy. We're gonna flow.
Yeah, oh, it's going there.
All right, so in my dish, I have dill, about a 1/2 cup of dill. It was 1 14-ounce can of artichoke hearts, 1 onion, oil, salt, a bunch of dill that's been, minced pretty good.
Oh, there it goes.
So when you get dill like this, I don't like to put in like the whole stalk part. I just
Yeah,
pull the little parts off, the little leaves, and the rest of it. I know that there are people out there that are like, "You're wasting it. Just cut it up and put it in." I don't.
For dill, I don't know. Like to me, dill is.
It doesn't need it.
I'm not a dill lover though.
Yeah, but there's always somebody out there that's like, "That's not how my grandma did it." I'm like, oh, wow, excuse me.
Especially the Jews. Everybody's got an opinion about how it should be done.
Whenever I make a recipe, people are like, "That's not how
Literally
my
the-
grandma did it." I
Literally
was
the
like,
first show we did, which was a full Hanukkah meal.
It was crazy.
It was like, that's not how I make my chicken.
My
Like
grandma
live,
didn't do it that way.
typing to us, live.
She's
That's
like,
not how I
"Why
make my
isn't it?"
chicken.
Yeah, that's not how I make my broth. I was like, "Oh,
You know what? Get your own show.
that's what we said." We're like, "Get your own show, lady.
Your own chicken. Right, go to your store.
Get your own chicken. Get your own show." So this is my spinach. It's 2 10-ounce frozen, and I put it in cheesecloth because I'm going to squeeze the water out. You have to squeeze the water out, otherwise this will turn to mush. It makes the matzah gross on the bottom. I'm always shocked at how much water comes
How much
out.
is out of this thing? It's always like just a ring of matzo cake meal surrounding my.
It's gonna be in the oil.
Oh, it's in. Okay, good. What a relief. Okay. So I'm gonna speed this up.
I love cheesecloth.
Me too.
I mean, you can just use like a regular dish towel. I've done that before. When I make latkes, I like to wring out the potatoes because it makes them really nice and crispy. And if you don't do that, you just end up with kind of like hard, lumpy. Like it doesn't crisp up. It like steams them instead.
Wring out the potatoes.
I think that's what they wrote that about.
I think so.
It was about the wringing out the potatoes.
Ugh. I'm gonna scrape all this down before adding my chocolate chips.
Please do.
Some people put walnuts in there because they'd used walnut flour. I don't do that. This way anybody can eat it if they have nuts. If they have
See,
nut
I
allergies.
use walnuts.
Yeah. So if somebody has nut allergies, they can't have yours.
Well,
That already makes mine better.
Go to Amy's house.
Don't eat it.
These are kosher for Passover chocolate chips that I found in the. If you get to the kosher for Passover aisle fast enough, and it's not the aisle. Listen, people. If you're a not Jew and you're making something for Passover, don't go to the international aisle where there's kosher food. That is not kosher for Passover.
Mm-mm.
That's just kosher. You got to go to the special display that's usually on the end, and that's where the kosher for Passover stuff is because it has a special blessing from the rabbi for Passover.
We like to keep.
So even though they might have potato starch or matzah cake meal in the kosher section, if it's not the kosher for Passover section, that's special.
Kosher and
this
kosher for
time of
Passover
year,
are 2 different
Don't
things.
do it. These are kosher for Passover chocolate chips.
Because even kosher people have to eat kosher for Passover food.
Yes, totally separate cabinet.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous.
whole thing.
I lived at the Hillel house one year in college. What a nightmare. No offense.
But
And
it's just-
putting in a
if
whole.
if you are not kosher, figuring out the kosher rules
It's very
is hard.
complicated. So these are kosher for Passover. The recipe actually always called for just half a bag. No, I've always done the whole bag. Everything tastes better
Don't be
when you.
shy, Amy. Just get right in there.
When it comes to baking, you have to be exact, except when it comes to
Not
butter.
for chocolate
Not
chips.
for chocolate chips. So I do the whole thing because anytime I make something, woo, wee.
You just put those anywhere, Amy. You just
Boom.
put them anywhere.
One for me.
And one for you. It's always better when you add more of the good stuff.
All right, so these
And
are
you can
nice
quote me
and
on
brown.
How should we? Should we go to the Yiddish lesson? Are you?
Yeah.
Do you have anything you need to say at this very moment?
Nope, I'm gonna start mixing things together. That's all. That's where I'm
You're
at.
mixing things together. Okay. While she mixes and I mix, we're gonna go to the Yiddish lesson of the day with your mom, right?
It is my mom.
Yay, Janet.
Hi, we're here with my mom with the Yiddish word of the day. All right, Bubby, what do you have for us today?
Today we have the word schmutz.
Now, I use this word regularly. I think a lot of people do. What does it mean?
Like mud or dust or grime.
Like my house has schmutz all over it.
You have some schmutz on your face.
Oh, schmutz on your face. I say that to my children
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
But as this is a special episode for Passover, my mother wanted to share with you a few jokes that she found on the internet.
Oh, the Passover jokes.
I can't wait.
You ready?
Ready?
I'll call you when I'm funny. First
Okay,
of all, that's how I'm
here
going to
it
start. Why did the matzah quit his job?
Why?
Because he didn't get a raise.
These sound like they were found on the internet. Okay, go ahead.
What army base is off limits on Passover?
What?
Fort Leavenworth.
These are so
They are. They're kids' jokes.
Okay, last one.
How does NASA organize their Passover Seders in
How
space?
does NASA organize their Passover Seders in space?
They plan it. I can keep going. I have others if you want.
I'm sure you
Wait,
do.
let me do one more.
Okay,
one more.
your favorite one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Good one. What did one Seder plate say to the other?
What?
Dinner is on me.
Well, not only did we get a lovely Yiddish lesson of the day with my mom, which was schmutz,
Schmutz.
we got a fabulous array of jokes in which to use at your dinner table.
Yes.
So
you
enjoy
can share
those.
them with your family.
And your friends. Tell everyone.
Well,
Well, Mom, I love having you here.
I do too.
It's better than doing it all over the internet.
Yes, it is very.
Happy Passover, everyone.
Happy Passover.
Oh my god.
I love that.
Very good.
I have to incorporate jokes and Yiddish lessons, but it's with my dad, it already takes too long as it is.
But my mom, if I let my mom go, she starts talking about the weather. She starts talking about
yeah.
crazy stuff. I'm like, Mom, you're veering off the path here.
Yeah, my dad and I are just shooting the bleep.
So I
schmutz.
schmutz.
Shooting the schmutz.
Shooting
Thank
the
you.
schmutz.
You can always come here.
So I have my spinach in here that's been squeezed out. I put in about 4 ounces of feta cheese, a third of a cup of Parmesan cheese, a cup and a half of
Behave, audience.
milk, and I'm gonna throw in my dill.
I'm gonna drink.
So there's no meat with this meal, I assume.
There is
Well,
no
right. If
meat currently.
you couldn't have this at Passover or any kosher meal if you're serving meat
if you was kosher.
because it's got cheese in it.
And then we are going to throw
But again, we're not
in-
those kind of Jews, so we do it.
No, me too.
We're gonna throw in our onions.
We'll be kosher for Passover in our meal, but that's about as far as it goes.
Well, you know what? I eat matzah.
And it was not even kosher for Passover. It's just we use kosher for Passover things, but then we violate all other rules. Like kosher for Passover, but meat.
We have matzah and we're cool.
So I'm gonna now the kind of my least favorite part of this because I'm so like anal retentive about this is you have to form it into 2 loaves. This is a nonstick sheet, so I don't need to put any sort of silk pad or anything on it. I don't recommend putting it on tin foil. I did that once and that was bad, but like you could do parchment.
Well, there's enough butter that it shouldn't.
Yeah,
it
but if
shouldn't
you have a nonstick like this, it's fine. This one works really well.
I do like
so
silk
you
pads.
evenly between 2
Okay.
2 piles, 2 blobs.
Two
By the way,
blocks.
this the Mandel Bread batter.
Mhm. Oh my
I
god!
know
I'll
it's
eat
got
it
eggs
raw.
in it. I don't care. I'll risk it. It's delicious.
Oh wow,
Can you
Amy.
hand me a spoon, please?
Spoon.
Thanks, girl.
You're welcome.
Oh shoot. Okay.
All right, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of
Yeah,
salt
the
to
batter's really
taste.
Ugh. How many people in this audience have made Mandel bread?
time.
What? How many of you are Jewish?
We're Jewish, we don't cook.
For shame.
I'm proud of it.
For shame.
I rather
My
buy
bubby
it.
cooked and that was
I'd rather
it.
buy
But
it.
how many of you have a lamb shank in your freezer? Anyone? For your Passover Seder?
Do you?
That's a good idea.
So when I was growing up, we went to a friend's house mostly for the Seder, and the mom always had the lamb shank in the freezer, no matter what time of year it lived there. It would come out for the one day and then it would go back. So it's pretty
It's
funny.
always hard to find certain items for that Seder plate.
Yep, for the plate.
The plate, yeah.
Billy wasn't here last year when we did this show, so he didn't hear the story of Passover. We're not doing that today, guys, because we've done it before.
Oh my
We'll tell you
gosh.
later.
Amy and I were
We'll
like,
tell you
is
why.
that this holiday?
We'll tell you
Is
why
that
Jews do these weird things
everything's symbolic.
once a year. Well, more than once a year. But
Well,
everything's symbolic, yeah.
The reason why we have sangria, the reason why you have the 4 cups of wine is because wine symbolizes freedom.
Yeah, it does.
So freedom to enjoy the wine.
Especially after you drink it.
Yes.
Your tongue becomes very free.
That's a different kind of
You say
freedom.
all the things.
Well, it's like what is it?
My mush looks good.
What's the holiday?
On top, this is for that.
Purim. You know, Purim, you're
Oh,
supposed
yep,
to get
yep.
just drunk enough that you can't really tell the difference between good and evil. So I'd say traditional Jews aren't like big drinkers, you know.
Right.
I mean, some are, but it's not like, I don't think we're known for being like that, you know, but we have holidays that are, you know, a big part of the custom is drinking. So, you know,
Okay.
why not? All right, so
now
I'm,
here's
you-
the part where it's this is something that I learned this year. So the bottom of the matzah can get like really wet or gross at the bottom of these dishes. In the recipe that I'm following, you put the pan in the oven before with a little bit of oil in it. And then I'm gonna take it out now and let it cool just a touch. But it's hot, the oil is hot.
was this in the recipe or you just know this because you're smart?
No, the recipe talked about this.
Oh, okay.
Because I was looking things up, so it said oil in the bottom of the pan, you put it in, let it get hot. So now what you do to make this is you take matzah and don't do what I did yesterday, which was leave it in the water too long and it turns into a great big bowl
Oh,
of
yeah.
disgusting
Well, then you
mush.
make matzah brei. Yummy.
Yes, but that's not what I was trying to make. So what I did is you just kind of run it under the water and like let it drip off and then put it in. It just needs to be a little bit pliable so you can kind of break it a bit. Matzah
Billy,
really
we'll
will
tell you
do some-
later.
Really, nothing to do with Halloween.
This is what happens when you got one non-Jew in the audience. What's matzah?
This is what it's like when you go to a Seder. What's happening? Why are we eating this? Who are these?
He comes to every show. He doesn't know this yet. All right, so I've put this in just to really, real quick.
Can you get an overhead shot? Can you hear that?
Oh yeah, it's sizzling.
So it's sizzling. That's the sound that you want.
So I've now made my mandel bread into 2 loaves. See, ladies and Billy.
Nice, very
Now
well
the
done.
best part is you cover it in cinnamon sugar. I mixed this. I just put it in a little seasoning thing. So you cover it liberally. I like a lot with cinnamon sugar all over it. A lot.
It's still
So
sizzling.
the ones you put up on Facebook you had made already?
I made those last night.
Yeah.
I've got one over here because, you know,
Real
this takes
cute.
about 40 minutes.
Ah.
It's better when it's right out of the oven because that sounds like it's really dense and kind of soft inside. It's still gonna be soft, but I like it hot. All right, so I've done a ton of cinnamon sugar here. Goes into the oven at 350 for about, it says 40 to 45 minutes. I like it a little bit underdone in the middle, so I try to go less. So I would say 40 minutes max, and that should do it. 40 minutes in my oven at home was perfect. This one is crazy, so it might be more like 30.
I don't love like crispy
No.
mandel bread.
Am I putting
I
mine
like
at the top?
No, I would put it in the
Oh,
middle.
you need
It
the
just,
middle?
that oven was so hot.
All right. Are you
Okay,
ready?
so bottom
Alright,
layer
so-
of matzah, I put the spinach component, the spinach mush in the middle. Now you take 2 more and you just get them wet under the faucet.
This is the interesting part.
Look at this, this is all so technical.
What are you doing here? This is an unruly bunch today, Rebecca.
You know what, that's how we know we're having a good time.
I know.
So it's a little bit wet, you're letting it drip drip, and then you just put it in.
Ladies.
Yes, dear.
Gentlemen.
Well, you weren't talking at that point. For a change. Just kidding.
Joan wants to know if we can buy this in the store.
The whole dish?
Yeah.
Made?
you making? Can you buy it ready?
That's our next endeavor, obviously. 2 Jews making food for you.
2 Jews pre-made food.
2 Jews made food.
It's too much
Right,
trouble.
packaged and ready.
2 Jews.
Listen,
make
I got a
food for
full-time
you.
job. Rebecca's got a job and 2 kids.
Doing it.
You know, this is our
Doing all the
You
things.
never know. I do like to challenge myself to too many things. So I want to show, so this is what I made last night so that everybody could taste it. And I also wanted to show how I cut it. So let me go to
Oh, you
the,
cut it on an angle?
no, on the bias. No, so what I'm gonna do is with the overhead camera so y'all can see, because I think this is very important. I'll move this so you guys can see. So I cut it down the middle, like completely in half. It looks like an egg. I cut it down the middle. And I don't wait to do this. So this one, the unfortunate thing with this show is that it ended up, this cooked a lot more because it stayed in, I wanted to show this to you, so this means this loaf is like, to me, probably too dry. Sorry, but
Drink our drink with
once
it,
it's
not
like
to
just
worry.
cooled enough, like I do not wait. Get it off the cookie sheet as fast as you can onto a cooling rack. Then when it's still warm, cut it, so like I said, cut it in half and then cut it down the middle. And then from there, you just slice, and it ends up looking like biscotti.
Biscotti.
Yeah, so you just slice, and this kind of makes them pretty even, so that they end up in these, they end up in these pieces like this.
Nice.
And you can't see it, but here, there's a little, you can see it's a little underdone right there, and that's how I like it. It would have been better if it hadn't sat as a whole, but I had to show you how to cut it, so it should still taste good.
It'll taste
It'll
good.
taste good, but it's better when it's cut fairly quickly, because
Well, it's
it
just,
keeps that kind of
it doesn't crumble.
MOYST,
The word
ness.
Amy hates the most.
MOYST-ness. I'm done.
All right, so I have egg and a little bit of olive oil. You just drizzle over the top once you get your 2 final pieces on. Okay,
Yum.
and then I use my little travel
Brush,
brush.
adorable.
Travel brush.
It's the end of the one with the stick. We have that with the stick on it.
Yeah.
Mine used to have a stick on it.
I'm
Who needs
sure.
the stick?
It just was, this is so much easier.
Yeah,
This
it
is,
feels
her arm is God's stick. It's
That's
like,
right.
her hand, as she says, is God's spoon. So.
Sometimes it's God's scissors,
No, it's
God's
God's
knife.
arm, stick.
Okay, so now this goes in the oven, 350 for about like 40 minutes. And then you take it out,
Need to set the timer for mine.
yeah, and you put on a very healthy helping of Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, girl.
To the top, and it ends up coming out. I'll put this in, although yours is cooking, I'll wait.
Well, no, it's fine, cook it. Well, that's why I said you want mine on top. Do you need to put yours on the bottom?
no, honestly, it cooks too fast if you do that.
All right.
It comes out like,
Ah.
The magic of television. Overhead, please.
crispy and
Ooh, yum.
oh, throwing things around back here, okay.
We're out of time.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Did we
all-
do it? Yes.
Well, here, taste this.
Oh, yes.
Is that too hot to taste?
No.
All right. Still good.
Honestly, you know when you eat something, it tastes like the holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is joyful.
Passover in a bite.
Sorry, chocolate in my mouth.
That looks amazing.
I can't wait to eat this, it's gonna be so good.
You're eating it.
We're good. Well, you guys will get that. All right, so we did it.
We did it.
Well
Oh my gosh. Passover episode check.
Happy Passover.
Holy cow. Cheers.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for coming. Happy Passover.
Please join us next time for more
schmaltz
schmaltz and shtick.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Definitely stick.
What's next?
Happy Pesach.